Hello, in this video I shall be giving the analysis of a topic. The topic is Gig Workers Bill. Recently, Rajasthan government has drafted this bill, that is Platform Based Gig Workers Registration and Welfare Bill 2023. Platform based is digital platform based, like the apps which we use on our mobile phones, like Uber, Ola, Zomato, Swiggy. So all of these are platforms, internet based, digital based platforms. So platform based gig workers are those workers that are dependent on these platforms. Zomato, when you order food from Zomato, a Zomato driver gets that food to you, so he's a gig worker. And Rajasthan government has come up with some welfare bill to give them welfare and social security, to give them social security. Coming to some definitions from our Code of Social Security 2020, it defines gig worker as a person who performs work or participates in a work arrangement and earns from such activities outside the traditional employer-employee relationship. So they are outside this traditional kind of work, that is employee-employer relationship. They don't work under anyone, they work with freelancers. So this is outside some employer-employee relationship. And who works on a contract? So that's a contract. They work for Ola and they get paid by the customer. So that results in a given rate of payment. So for example, that given rate of payment is about for a ride for 1 kilometer. They charge you for 50 rupees. So this is a contract. So they take it from the customer, they charge you, and the driver gets the money, but he is working under Ola. So, but this is not an employer-employee relationship. Here, there is some gray area about the definition or about this workforce in our country or anywhere in the global issue also. So here we must also know the definition of a word called aggregator. So in short term, I would want to say it in a short term, that's a big definition. Aggregator is a digital intermediary. Whatever app you're finding in your phone for food delivery, so that digital intermediary between you, that is a customer, and between you and that Zomato worker is called aggregator. Ola is an aggregator, Uber is an aggregator, and so on. So this is also a global issue, if gig workers have to be considered as employees or not. If this relation is aggregator gig worker relation is employer-employee relationship or not. So this is a problem. Here we shall see some cases in other countries, how they're considering this gig workers and all. Coming to California, in California's labor code, it has conducted a test called ABC test, and it has come up with some solution to this. Here, the company in California, whatever company, for Uber, Ola, Zomato, Swiggy, or companies like this, whatever company is there, that must confirm a particular person as their employee or not, or an independent contractor. It must clearly tell to the government whether he is an employee or an independent contractor. So this has come up with this test on this delivery company called Dynamex, which is also a gig workforce providing company. So according to this company must decide who is an employee and who is an independent contractor. So who is an employee, who is not an employee. If you cannot say if a person is an employee or not, the company must extend all the benefits equally to all the workers. So this is the case of California. Coming to case of the United Kingdom, the UK Supreme Court in 2021 ruled out a judgment that Uber drivers must be treated as employees and not self-employed. So they are not self-employed, they are full-fledged employees, so that they get social security, labor laws pertain to them, so all of this. So this is according to an act in UK, that is section 233B of the UK Employment Rights Act 1996. So by this we know UK is providing rights to these gig workers. Employment rights. It is providing social security, employment rights, protection, labor laws, everything to these gig workers. Unlike the case in California, where every company has to decide if a person is its employee or not an employee. Coming to Rajasthan bill, there are some conflicting interpretations. In Rajasthan bill, in short, we can say gig workers are considered not employees. They are not employees. So no labor laws are related to them. They are not related to any labor laws. It is positive to these platforms, these aggregators, these digital platforms, because they don't need to take care of their gig workers. So they need not comply with the labor laws also, these aggregators or digital platforms, according to Rajasthan bill. So there is no workplace entitlement also. If a person is working around a city, if that gig worker, he will not be given that workplace entitlement also. So they need not do anything. according to Rajasthan bill. So this is placing gig workers in problem, and these aggregators or digital platforms at profit. So this is an unfair thing because there is no liability about gig workers on part of government or on part of these companies. So when they face any medical emergency while they are driving, who is responsible of them? So these things are not answered. So accidents at work, occupational safety, all these things are not considered by Rajasthan bill. And according to this bill, they are going to create a database. So all this database will have a repository of information of all gig workers. Here that registered platform, digital platform, gives all the information about all the gig workers that are working under it to that board called Gig Workers Welfare Board, created under this bill, under this Rajasthan Gig Workers Bill, irrespective of their work duration. So gig workers, as we know, they are not permanent employees, they work for a period of time. And irrespective of the duration of their work, all the information about gig workers is going to go to this welfare board so that they can extend this welfare to that person. So this is also a gray area wherein if a gig worker has discontinued working for that platform, but he still gets the welfare board, all the welfare funds, all the schemes that they produce. So this is also unfair. Coming to some case in Australia and New Zealand, they don't call them as gig workers. They have given a new name to them. They are PCBUs, person conducting business or an undertaking. PCBUs they are called. Here, this New Zealand and Australia and New Zealand, they consider these gig workers as a worker, as an employee in their workplace or while they are working. For example, a Uber driver is there. As long as he is riding in a place, he is considered as a worker. As long as he is driving for around, for example, is working for 12 hours, during that period of 12 hours is considered as an employee. So in that 12-hour period, if he meets with an accident or if something happens to him, he comes under this social security scheme and everything, insurance and everything. So this is what Australia and New Zealand have come up with about the welfare of gig workers. So here under Rajasthan bill, they are going to create a representative welfare board that's going to have some representatives from gig workers, representatives from this platform based these digital intermediaries, representatives from bureaucracy or executives, and representatives from the government also. So all these representatives are going to sit in that board, and they're going to do some formulations. They're going to formulate and notify schemes for social security of these registered platform based gig workers and take such measures as it may deem fit. So this is an important phrase, take such measures as it may deem fit for administering such schemes. So here we see that there is no clarity in what they have to do. They have to formulate and notify schemes. Schemes of what kind of schemes or anything. There is no clarity about the schemes they must come up with. And there is no clarity about measures. Measures as it may deem fit is not sufficient for a policy to come up. Clear-cut measures, clearly prescribed set of measures have to be given. So there is a gray area in this definition, in this work that this representative welfare board has to do. They're also going to put up the welfare fund also under this. So this welfare fund goes into these schemes and measures which we are talking, but the schemes and measures are not clearly given. They're not given. So this is a gray area in the bill. Some of the shortcomings in the bill, or there is no definition of social security, what kind of social security gig workers must have. There has to be new kinds of social security for them because they're kind of emerging kind of workforce. So new innovative social security measures have to be coming up, and there are no specifications of welfare measures also. So these are some shortcomings of this bill of gig workers Rajasthan bill. The final say is, despite its good intent, no doubt this is a good intended bill because it is intending towards providing social security to these workers who have no social security until now. So despite its good intent, the problem is the bill must provide clear specifications. There is no clear specification as to what they must do. It must provide clear specifications for successful implementation. Not just this bill, any bill that the government drafts must have clear specifications, clear direction of the policy making. If that is not there, there is no successful implementation of the bill. There can't be. So despite of its good intent, the Rajasthan Gig Workers Bill must provide clear specifications about social security, welfare measures and all. So for its successful implementation. So this is the analysis about Rajasthan's platform-based gig workers registration and welfare bill 2023, shortcomings and all. And thank you.